There's some foods that just taste better upside down, and until you kind of try it, it's really kind of hard to know. But the few I've tasted so far since I've got my inversion table, Greek yogurt, cantaloupe, both of them taste 10 times
these
better
are all
if
really
you eat
fair
them
points,
upside down.
but unfortunately I hate to interrupt. Welcome to Hate to Interrupt, everybody. I am Ethan from youtube.com/Ghoulif, and I am joined by...
And I'm VHS guy, Nick.
That's who
we're
I'm joined by. Yeah,
missing
Nick
a
is,
guy.
we're missing the second Nick. He is on a spirit journey. He's probably recreating the events of King Kong and climbing the Empire State Building right now, but it's just going to be the two of us for the episode. And we're here to talk about a very one of the big three anticipated July releases for 2025, with that being Jurassic World Rebirth, or as I call it, Jurassic Slop Rebirth.
I'm disappointed that he's not here because that means he didn't have to watch this fucking dog shit movie along with us.
He's so lucky.
I'm actually mad.
Go ahead.
It's torture. I felt like I got like robbed at gunpoint walking out of the theater to watch that movie.
You watched this in theaters?
Oh yeah. Okay. It was terrible.
Yeah, I did as well. Because the Jurassic World movies, I saw the first Jurassic World movie back when it came out in 2015. I was in high school still. And that was around the time I was getting into film criticism. So I had finally started developing, taste of some kind. And I remember being so excited. I was like, oh, I love dinosaurs, dude. I love dinosaurs. I cannot wait. Chris Pratt's in it. He's pretty big. That's cool. And then I remember walking. Yeah, he's got a six-pack. He's pretty hot. And then I remember just walking out of the theaters, and me and my sister were just like, well, that was pretty bad, I think. I didn't like that. And then I just never saw the sequels. I still haven't.
Okay, those movies are bad, right? They're objectively pretty bad movies.
I think Jurassic World is better than this.
That's what I was about to say. They're watchable films. I've had to watch all of them with some random person that wanted to see them, and I didn't. I saw them
just
for
a
what
random
they were,
person
and
off
it's
the
just
street.
like family or like
okay.
somebody's kid or whatever.
Yeah.
Like we had to throw it on, right? But like. And I could watch those and be like, okay, this is basically like just sitting down and watching like a new Marvel movie. Like it's just spectacle. It's whatever, right? It's not, but it's not like insulting. Like I feel like it was what it was. This movie was insulting. Yeah.
I will say Jurassic World 2015, I could see that it was bad, but I could also see that there were nuggets of like, oh, that's an actually interesting topic. The whole people are kind of bored of dinosaurs and the park is operating, which is kind of cool to see. And, talking about how audiences get bored so easily and they're fickle, kind of doing a meta commentary on like movie audiences.
And the characters weren't that bad either.
Were,
I mean, they're very two-dimensional and like, but like the performances in this new film were bad.
Yeah. Let's talk about
Scarlett Johansson was bad in this.
So that's the thing. I remember first, I think 20-30 minutes. That was the point this clicked where I was like, oh man, this is one of those movies where you can take a pee break in the middle of it and won't feel bad. Because you're not really missing anything. I went to pee during the like Quetzalcoatlus cliff scene and I was like, oh, okay. I didn't really miss anything. And it was the boat scene where Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali's character are like sitting there going, well, how's your backstory doing? Yeah, my backstory is pretty tough. My kid backstory is dead, and that makes me really sad because it made things with the missus hard. How's your backstory going? My backstory got blown up in a car bomb in Iraq or something. That's pretty tragic. And then they like each have scenes where they pull out little photos of their person. Like it's the most surface
cliche.
level way of going.
Movie
it feels like a focus tested thing. It's literally like, well, if without that, we have nothing to care about these characters for. So you got to give them some off-screen sad family thing that they have a thing to be sad about. And that's kind of it. Like the boat scene where they pick up the family that was sailing across the dinosaur-infested ocean for some reason, where he's like, what kind of a dad are you to take your kids across here? And then Scarlett Johansson's like, this isn't about actually him. This is deeper. You're not mad at him. You're mad at something else. It's like, wow, you couldn't have spelled it out a little more.
It's also, I agree. The whole family thing was kind of stupid as fuck. Like, and then Scarlett Johansson's like whole personality is I want money, but she's like, no, we have to save the family. We have to save the family. It's like you literally will do anything for money. That's your whole character thus far.
Yeah, I almost made a video earlier this year. I think I even told you about it. Where when this was, I think before even we got the first trailer, I was like, you know what? This actually sounds kind of good. Like, I think the premise, while being very video gamey, could have some really cool set pieces. I like the cast. I think all the actors are all good on their own. And I was like, you know what? Gareth Edwards has a really good eye for visuals and VFX. So that alone, I was like, you know what? And it's the original writer of the original Jurassic Park. Awesome. But none of this worked for me. I almost made a video about how this might be good. Glad I didn't make that video now.
You also have to keep in mind how much easier it is to adapt something that's already been written compared to something original too.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason that like some of the best movies ever are based on books. It's because it's
There's
already
great source material to work with.
Yeah, they already have like a huge template to guide them and make a good story.
The most upsetting part of this is we'll talk about success, because this thing is going to make so much money. Like we all predicted, me, you, and Nick all said, out of the big three for July, this one's going to make $1 billion, and it's going to kill the other two.
I think it's going to do,
but it's going to make so much money.
I think when we were looking at earlier, it was like trending higher than the last Jurassic World.
I think it's on track to do a little bit better than the last one, which made $1 billion. So it's 100% going to make $1 billion. I think currently first weekend is projected to be 322.5 million worldwide, according to Deadline.
The crazy thing to me is like, did this trailer look good to you?
It looked okay to me, but I was never like, they didn't do anything to make me go like, oh, yep, there's the secret sauce that I was needing to hook me in. But I was like, maybe there's something hidden in here that will be good, but there wasn't.
Everybody I talked to seemed excited about it. Like, every single person I've talked to was like, it seems like it might be good. And I was like, there's no way this is fucking good. It's going to be trash. And my girlfriend, like, she liked all the last three. Like, she actually enjoyed the last three. And she fucking hated it. She fucking hated this movie. It just feels like this one especially. I think one of the writers or producers or something was like, we're not trying to do like this is a fresh start for the Jurassic franchise. Like, we're doing new things. This is a new idea. They're just doing references to the original still. They did the kitchen scene, but this time instead of a raptor, it's a fucking wyvern with wings. We're doing the scene where they go, oh look, it's a big long neck dinosaur. Wow. It's the same exact scene. They've done all the stuff before. Like, the whole entire movie was like homage after homage.
And it was just pretending not to be. Yeah. The only I think there are some okay set pieces. I think the T-Rex scene in the river is pretty good.
But it was stupid. Like the scene itself was like interesting, but like it was played so dumb.
Yeah, the stealth T-Rex that was like completely silent and turned invisible in a nanosecond when the raft was flipped up.
Yeah, like there was so much like ridiculousness. And like, why would she even pull the fucking thing at risk of waking up the T-Rex?
Yeah.
Like the whole family, all four of those family members were fucking stupid.
Yep.
So dumb.
Yeah, they were pretty dumb. Like, that whole dynamic really felt like another kind of screen tested, like, well, we got to have a family in there, and they're struggling.
Yeah, it would have been better if they weren't there.
It's also frustrating because, do you feel this way? I feel like when I think back to Jurassic Park 1, even The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3, they're kind of scary in the way, like they have some genuinely horrifying scenes. And they're kind of like pushing that PG-13 boundary where you get a decent amount of blood. Like, I like to think of like Jurassic Park 3. Do you remember the scene where the guy runs out in front of the plane and then the Spinosaurus comes out and just snaps him?
Some of the later Jurassic Park movies had some wild
or like
shit
the body falling from the parachute, like the corpse that's been skeletonified. And like in this, all the deaths are just bloodless. Like you get another Spinosaurus kill, like 2 of them, and it's like they even frame it in a way to where the character goes and hides behind a big pile of like rafts and stuff, and then she gets attacked, and it's like it's so lame and gutless.
It's just further proof that like studios are neutering these good directors. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't even say he's a great director, but I've seen him. What was the first movie he made?
Monsters.
Yeah, Monsters was pretty fucking good.
But I've heard good things about Monsters.
Even his second
did Godzilla 2014.
Godzilla's fine, but like it looked good.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's always consistently good at visuals. But I think,
and even the visuals didn't even look good.
The visuals weren't as good as normally like most of his projects are.
Like
I think the creator looked better than this. I think.
What were the long neck
Titanosaurs?
Yeah, whenever they were by the legs of them, it looked like it was like
they looked
bad
really
render. The skin looked terrible. Like, so this was a paycheck. This was a paycheck, and this whole movie is just like you said. It just seemed like it's like they focus tested and were like, "This is the stuff that they want," and they just made some bullshit story up. It's exactly like we were talking about the other week. Like, I don't think there was a script.
I mean, you don't really need there to be a script. That's another thing. I haven't seen Dominion or Fallen Kingdom. Is that the second and third ones? I haven't seen those. But the whole point of that trilogy, isn't it building to where we have like dinosaurs all over the world, right? It's like, look, dinosaurs exist. We're going full dinosaur apocalypse. I was like, you know what? Whatever. I think these movies are bad, but at least get there. And then in this, David Koepp just like goes, completely threw it all away. They're all dead. They all hang out on the equator in a bunch of islands. I'm like, so we're just back to square one now, where they're on islands again.
And also, can we talk about how like the entire crux of the initial plot was caused by a Snickers wrapper? This billion-dollar corporation was taken down by a fucking Snickers wrapper.
By product placement released. You know,
the product placement was also bad in this. There was a lot of product.
There's like the muted Dawn or whatever steps on a Gatorade bottle. I mean, they literally go into a 7-Eleven that's fully stocked with like food and drink. Twizzlers. Yeah, you guys want some M&Ms? I love M&Ms.
There was a lot of product placement.
You know, I have a question for you. Where do you think they could take the series? Like, is there an interesting angle to take this series? Because I'm sure you can find it, but fundamentally, the Jurassic Park franchise is designed to not make sequels. Because by doing it, you're going against its own thesis of the original.
I think their idea as a whole was a smart one. I think doing the kind of like sending them to the island, revisiting that concept with like a special op type team or whatever. Like, I think that was an interesting concept. I think they just threw way too much in with it. So like, I think like a smaller story would probably work best, maybe, because they're already trying to. I don't know, and then they can't just make another park again. Like, they can, but
I think it was David Koepp who wrote this. Said something like, at the end of Dominion, there's dinosaurs all over the world. There's dinosaurs like hanging out in the Chrysler Building and hanging out in apartments in New York City. I didn't really know where to go with that, so I scaled it back down to and I'm just like, what do you mean you don't know where to go with that? Dinosaur apocalypse is not something they've actually really done in the
that's
movies.
What I'm saying. Like, that would have been the cooler concept.
That is such a fun, because this just is remaking greatest hits of like the main first movie.
They could have just made like a zombie movie with the dinosaurs.
Yeah. You ever played Dino Crisis? It's basically Resident Evil with dinosaurs.
Yep.
Like, why not? Why not that?
Yeah, they neutered themselves, and I don't think there is anywhere interesting to go with it at the moment. Like, not that they've set up.
Yeah, the thing is, there is nowhere interesting to go with this, and they have been told by people's wallets that they don't need to go anywhere interesting with it.
Well, they don't,
because this is going to make $1 billion.
It's like Fast and the Furious movies, dude. Like, no matter what.
Yeah, I've never.
People will go see them.
This was probably not one of the worst experiences. I think the first 20-30 minutes, I was getting a little annoyed because there was a couple sitting next to me and my wife where they were just kind of like openly talking, like dumb brain talk, where they just sit there and go, "Oh, that's a Spinosaurus. Oh, they're in the water," like stuff like that.
It'd be one thing if it was a kid, but yeah, it's always
it's like
adults.
Someone my age or older. It's always boomers. Usually. And And I was initially annoyed at that. And then I think I hit the 20-30 minute mark and I was like, this movie's not worth getting mad about or asking someone to be quiet. And I couldn't even do that because everybody in the theater had that mindset, was just like, oh, the T-Rex. I love the T-Rex. Oh,
No, I didn't have that experience. My theater was dead fucking silent, bro.
That
the
sounds
whole thing. And then at the end, there was one person who's just, and everybody just was silent. Nobody clapped with them, and they just stopped. I was just like, yeah, you motherfucker.
We had one person clap. People like thought it was funny because I felt I was going crazy because all the people around me were just like, oh yes. And then when like Mahershala Ali's character has the fake out death, which is the most fucking embarrassing thing ever, the person was like, when the flare shot off, they're like, yay! Oh my gosh, yes! I'm like, what's his name? Duncan?
Yeah,
the guy with sad backstory. I mean, I love Mahershala Ali, but this was not. This,
he was,
I mean,
he was
work.
the best part of the movie to me. He
was good.
He was the only thing I could. But like this whole movie, I could have guessed. I could have guessed everything that happened. I did. I knew everything that was going to happen.
There was no surprises.
There was
zero surprises.
I was like, oh, this person's fodder. This person's fodder. This person's fodder.
You could throw up every character in this movie, and you go, they're all going to die because they're grown adults that aren't given any lines. And then your children, you're safe because this is a movie for babies. You guys all have more than enough lines. You're all going to be safe. You're a villain. You're going to die. Duncan, you might sacrifice yourself in the end. And then it's a fake out. Like, it's so
the comic
lame.
relief guy wasn't funny either.
Jonathan Bailey. Yeah, there was a few lines. Yeah, he's the guy from Wicked. But I thought he was good. Okay. I like the character. That's one thing a lot of these movies are missing. It's like the thing that worked so well in the original Jurassic Park was there is this kind of sense of awe. Like, this is incredible. Like, that you can see these creatures that once existed that are enormous. They're
nobody takes anything seriously in this.
No, he's like, he'll say a line like, oh my gosh, look, they're doing like kind of a mating thing and they're talking, like he'll say some kind of nerdy thing about how awesome dinosaurs are, and then they're just like, nerd much? And then everyone goes, ha 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 ha. Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's just, if I gun to my head, I had to say one nice thing about this movie, I don't know what it'd be.
I think the VFX looks okay at times. I think there are some okay set pieces. How did you feel about the mutant dinosaurs?
I think it's stupid, and I didn't really like that they did it in the other ones either.
They've done it in every single one, right?
Yeah.
They did the Indominus Rex in World. They did the Raptor version.
Dinosaurs are already cool. You don't need to fucking make them look stupid to make them cooler.
There are so many dinosaurs.
There's so many dinosaurs.
Yeah. Like, I think there's such an untapped potential in making these actually scary, because in this situation, like theoretically, you're in the situation these characters are, that is horrifying. Never once did I feel genuine terror, but it's a horrible situation, dude.
Well, a lot of that, I mean, that's true, but a lot of that is also due to these paper thin characters that you don't care if they die.
Yeah.
Like even if there was like tension, it's like, okay, maybe this character that has literally no personality will die. I don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Could you imagine how funny it would have been if they just had the T-Rex just chomp the little girl?
That would have been sick.
They should have. Whenever she was in the raft. Time I would have been like, oh shit. All right. It would have been really totally weird.
Yeah, there was a lot of like weird editing too, where like people definitely should have died.
Yeah, the whole Duncan thing where he just, and again, recreating a scene from the original. It's literally just the Jeff Goldblum flare scene.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's gonna follow him and he's gonna try to lure it away. And then it just, I guess, leaves him alone, and then it fucks off. I don't know. I think like you said, it's trying to make dinosaurs cool, and there's a whole meta commentary where it's like, look, people are bored of dinosaurs. They show like a brachiosaurus that's like stopping traffic in New York City or whatever, which that was kind of fun. I was like, that's funny. And they talk like nobody cares. Nobody wants to go to museums anymore. That is some bullshit, dude. How successful are zoos still?
Yeah.
Everyone likes dinosaurs.
Kids aren't going to just be tired of it, you know?
No, like And the fact that this movie's whole meta commentary is people are tired of this. We don't care. You need to go back to the experience of seeing these animals in the wild, and nobody really appreciates them anymore. I'm like, that is absolutely not true.
How
when
mad-
your movie is going to make $1 billion because it just has dinosaurs in it, no matter the quality.
How mad were you whenever Scarlett Johansson refused to take the easiest shot on the boat 57 times?
I know. I was just That was the first scene.
The
where
first
I was just
dinosaur,
like,
yeah.
this is so boring. I was like, this action is. There's nothing. Why didn't the Mosasaurus just like knock the boat over? It could have.
Question.
Why didn't the T-Rex just bite the boat when they were in the raft in the river? Could have. Also, that raft is goddamn invincible.
And it stayed underwater for like an inflatable raft
20,
stayed
30
underwater
seconds.
for like 5 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Right.
Oh, it just got out. Yeah,
it's absurd.
I absolutely hated this movie in every way, shape, and form.
Because the trailers are like, this is a new era of Jurassic World. Where do you go from here? Do you just go, we gotta go to another island, and this time we got Alan Grant back again?
Well, we already cured heart disease. Now we're gonna cure cancer.
Yeah,
It's like, okay,
this really is a video game ass plot.
It really is a video game.
They
have big hearts, so they have big hearts, so we have to get their blood.
Yeah, I'd kill for this to be a video game. Remember when every movie used to get a video game tie-in? This would fucking rock.
No, it wouldn't. It'd be like done by like,
come on.
It'd be done by like EA, and it would just fucking.
Well,
lick
it
balls.
probably wouldn't be good. Maybe back in the day when I had less quality understanding, I would have been like, hell yeah.
The King Kong game back in the day fucked pretty hard.
I never got to play it. I didn't really have games until I was in middle school.
No, well, it was a fun game.
All right, well,
I don't know.
I think just like the Jurassic franchise, it has run its course. So is this conversation.
It's hard, man. It's hard to have much to say because, like, I could just say every scene that I hate about it, but it's like, don't go give these people your money. Like, if I didn't have to do this episode, I would not have gone to see this in theaters.
I mean, I didn't see the last two because I was so burnt by the first one. I was like, this is just not for me anymore. And
yeah, it's embarrassing.
I think it's a dang shame too, because I love dinosaurs. I think dinosaurs are so awesome. It's like crazy that these things existed. And the fact that the only franchise capitalizing on it is just kind of has no competition and is pretty bad. But they just dominate the box office. People need to make more dinosaur stuff because people clearly want it.
Then they make ones like 43 or whatever it was.
65. 65.
Or 65, yeah.
Yeah,
that movie fucking sucked. What are some other fucking dinosaur movies that have come around?
Most of them are just like cheap sci-fi originals and stuff. Like you don't ever get like a proper dinosaur movie.
I found one like a year ago. I haven't watched it yet. It's on DVD. It's called Dino Croc. I'm pretty excited for that one.
I saw Dino Croc back in the day, and then Super Gator.
I have,
and then they had
Dino Croc and
Croc versus
Robo Gator. I think
so.
Like
Dino Croc was like a dinosaur / crocodile, and then you had Super Gator, which is a giant alligator, and then they had a crossover film that was called Dino Croc versus Super Gator. I saw it when I was a kid.
I gotta watch them. I have them right behind me on DVD. So
they're pretty terrible.
Well, yeah. So that's what I was hoping for.
Yeah. But I don't know.
But yeah,
I can't.
do you want to rate it? You want to rate this shit?
I gave it a 3 in my letterbox. I guess I'll just leave it as a 3 out of 10, but it really is close to a 2. I need to go watch the other 2 Jurassic World movies I haven't seen because I feel like that's kind of necessary at this point.
You get to watch a guy race a velociraptor on a motorcycle, and they keep up with him.
Wow, that's so cool. Is the guy cool? Is he so cool?
Well, he's Chris Pratt, so he has a 6-pack. So
he's so
pretty cool. Pretty cool. I gave this movie a 1 on Letterboxd, but that was only because that's the lowest it allowed me to give it. I give this movie a 0, and as my Letterboxd review said, I think this is worse than Suicide Squad.
I think that is fucking wild. I don't think it's that far off, but I think I don't think this is worse than Suicide Squad.
There are moments in Suicide Squad where I was like, that's kind of sick.
Like what?
I don't know. Anytime Will Smith talked.
What? Okay.
Will Smith has Riz, bro.
All right.
Or had Riz.
Can't
It's
argue
kind of
with
fallen
that.
off.
Yeah, and then when he slapped Chris Rock.
Yeah, he's kind of a weirdo
Downward
now.
spiral. It's crazy.
But
It's crazy to win an Oscar and in the same night commit assault on stage.
what are we? Some kind of Suicide
What
Squad?
are we? Some
Also,
kind of Suicide Squad?
Quotable bad moments too.
True,
this movie
that's a
didn't
good
even
one.
have any quotable bad moments. Like Suicide Squad is like specifically bad, which makes it have some kind of value.
But it's not fun bad, Nick. It's not fun bad. It's misery. It is miserable.
Yeah, but that's almost more of an accomplishment than just making a movie that has no positive qualities at all.
I don't think so. I think that is the worst movie in the last decade.
They cast Harley Quinn, or what's her name is Harley
Margot
Quinn.
Robbie.
She did good. Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn.
The cast
that's pretty
the
sick. Yeah.
Let's be honest, the cast is not the problem. Do you know Tom Hardy
Jared
was
Leto.
almost in that?
Jared Leto's
that is the
bad.
one issue.
Jared Leto's pretty
that is
fucking
the
bad,
one
man.
that is the one thing they should not have done.
Dude, the Jared Leto believers piss me off, dude. It's like what world do you live in?
There's a sorry, I'm gonna throw some dirt at someone. There's a YouTuber I used to watch when I was in high school called J-Roar. And before Suicide Squad came out, you know the original photo they released of Jared Leto's Joker, where he's got the hands on his hair, and you see all his tattoos, and he's like, it looks horrible. This YouTuber, he got that tattooed on his shoulder, like the full thing on his entire like upper arm, and like full color. And I just think about that often, how embarrassing that was. Actually, I'll admit, since I've thrown dirt at someone, I'll throw dirt at myself. You want to know something embarrassing? I dressed up as Jared Leto's Joker in high school.
That's fucked.
It really is. Because I did it before the movie came out.
I'll do something embarrassing.
You're gonna do something embarrassing. Oh God, what are you showing me? Is that a banana?
This is Mr. Poopy Butthole. I have a Mr. Poopy Butthole tattoo.
I have not seen Rick and Morty. That's from, right?
Yeah. So
yeah, that's fine.
Still better than Jared Leto Joker, but
yeah, could you imagine getting that on your body?
Not great. But yeah, this movie fucking sucked.
Don't see it, but it doesn't really matter if you don't, because it's going to make all the money either way. But
learn to pirate, people. Learn to pirate.
Arg. This should be a sign for other studios. Guys, if you put dinosaurs in it, people will want to see it as long as you do a good job. Well,
yeah, make sure to put a couple big names in there though too.
Try. Oh, I want more dinosaur stuff. I love dinosaurs. And also, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked again. It frustrates me that people are like, "Oh, I don't want to see scientifically accurate dinosaurs. They're lame, blah 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 blah." And it's like that's not what they already excused this in the Jurassic World movies. The original Jurassic Park movie was made with the most up-to-date scientifically accurate dinosaurs they had at the time. And then they just kind of hand wave that in the new ones is like, well, the originals, they look like this. We're going to kind of keep them looking like that. I think that's lame. I want to see some feathered raptors and shit.
I think it kind of makes sense that their perspective on it, to be honest, if it's a continuation of the same series.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, just give me what, like I thought they were going to, because the Spinosauruses in this look way different than the one in 3. Like the one in 3 is enormous and it's like stands up like a T-Rex. I thought they were going to be like, the explanation was when they originally started cloning dinosaurs or creating them, they were like, they came out very accurate and they were like, what the fuck are these things? Like these look horribly weird. Like Spinosaurus looks very kind of goofy in certain iterations in like the kind of realistic version. And they were just like, well, let's make it scarier. Get some T-Rex DNA in there, make it real big, and that's the one we get in 3. I thought that would have been kind of fun. There's just like they don't ever explain anything in this. They kind of just like the D-Rex. Did they ever explain that? Or are they just like did they make it on purpose?
Why did they explained that part?
They
said people were getting bored of normal dinosaurs, so they started genetically modifying them. That's literally what they said.
That's such a lame excuse. I thought it was going to be like that was the first sample they ever got of a T-Rex, and they threw it into the cloning device, and then it accidentally had other shit mixed into it.
You're
and it was
thinking
just like
too
this
much.
Abomination.
Anything you can think of, remove 78% of thought, and then it's that.
Okay. I don't want to give this movie any more of my mental capacity. We'll be back whenever they release Jurassic World Extinction or whatever it's fucking going to be called. That,
what did you call it?
Jurassic World Afterbirth.
Jurassic Afterbirth. Yeah, that's the one. Oh god, dude.
Yeah, Jurassic World Revelations, Jurassic World Extinction, Jurassic World Apocalypse, they're all going to be that.
They honestly, their best bet, go full camp with it at this point. Just make it stupid.
They take itself so seriously.
Make it Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Send them to space.
They kind of
dinosaurs in space.
Dinosaurs in space. Give me Dino Apocalypse, where it's people surviving in like a post-apocalyptic world.
At this point, if I'm just, I would much more appreciate that than this.
Give me schlock. Give me schlock. All right.
So
speaking of schlock, you want to lead into your recommended movie of the ep.
So I recommended the 1991 classic Stone Cold, starring Brian Bosworth, the Boz, former NFL player, might I add.
He looks. I thought he was a former WWE wrestler. I didn't look that up, but he just looks like one to me.
No, he's an NFL player, and he is badass. He's so sick, and I love him, and I love this movie. I have every iteration of this film. I intend to see it in every format. I've watched it probably 30 times, and I just can't get enough of it. What'd you think?
Yeah, I called it schlock, but that is not derogatory. You know, like Jurassic World Afterbirth is schlock, but in a bad way. This is schlock in a good way, because there was times where I kind of felt like I was missing context at times, because I was watching this while I was working on like thumbnails and stuff for the channel, and I would like be doing something on my tablet, and then I'd like hear it out of the corner. I just hear an explosion. I'm like, holy shit, a character just fucking blew up, and I wasn't paying attention. I had to go back 10 seconds, and it's just
they're just killing a pastor in a church for no reason.
Yeah, kill pastor in a church, just blowing up one on his boat. Yeah, it's constant explosions. I don't think there's a scene that ends without someone getting beaten.
The movie opens with like a guy just mowing down boxes of Ritz crackers. Just with an SMG, just fucking mowing down at fucking crackers and chips.
That does really well set the tone of just like nonsense.
Yeah,
like
they send like 4 mega armed like goons to go rob a grocery store. It's like, what the fuck is happening?
And they're just, the acting is what kind of sells it for me. As soon as I started, I was like, oh, okay, I get what the vibe is. It's over the top, just like absurdity, because they're getting there like, yeah, let's get the money, and they like rip open the grocery store after they machine gun all the brands on the wall, and they steal what, $1,000?
Yeah, like if you didn't get how stupid it was, like at the beginning of the movie, I mean, even like, so it goes immediately from that to him to giving you the most like cliche, like we took your badge and your gun, you're not supposed to be working.
It's super cliche. Yeah,
and then
he also dresses like the Undertaker in the first scene.
He does,
for some reason.
Trench coat.
Yeah, he's like in a trench coat with like the flaying on the top.
Well, what I think they were doing, I think it was in I think they were basically doing like a homage to Cobra. Have you seen Stallone's Cobra?
No.
The opening scene is like basically him stopping like a gas station robbery, and this is like the Cobra scene like times 100.
Yeah, there's a lot of scenes in this where it got to a point where I kept being like, what year was this made in? 1991. Okay, so they can't fake this. They're just launching a motorcycle into a helicopter in front of like, I don't know if it was an actual like government building, but it really looked like it.
It probably was a miniature or something for that explosion.
That's true. But there were times where I'm just like, they're just riding motorcycles through these, like,
the buildings and
what
shit.
Are actual government buildings, and yeah, like
some of the stunts were good
stuff like this anymore.
Oh, that's the thing, dude. Like as ridiculous as the movie is, they do the action pretty fucking well, and it looks pretty good whenever they like decide to go crazy with it.
Yeah,
like obviously the fight choreography is stupid and
it's very goofy,
very 80s, but I don't know. And this movie also it's the perfect amount of like not taking itself too seriously. Like they take you immediately from that that scene at the beginning with the gas station robbery directly to like him in his house, like feeding his pet iguana.
Well, he's like, yeah, that was the funniest thing. I was like, that's such a random thing that they.
Oh no, it was a monitor. It wasn't even an iguana. Lizard. It was a monitor.
It's a monitor lizard, which he picks it up and then like puts his head against its head and is like, he's like, you gotta eat, buddy.
And okay, can I say Brian Bosworth is not that bad of an actor?
He's pretty good, actually. Like there's points where I'm like, yeah, no, he doesn't have a lot of depth, but he could totally be a The Rock kind of
an action star. Yeah. Like okay, so I looked this up a long time ago, but I'm pretty sure this role was actually initially offered to Arnold Schwarzenegger, but but Arnold's minimum was like $20 million or something. They're like, yeah, we're not doing that.
Yeah, by the early 90s, he was super famous. This was past Terminator, so.
But how do you think this movie would have been if Arnold was in it instead of Brian Bosworth?
Probably would have been more famous.
You think Arnold would be?
I think no. I think the movie it would have been more famous if Arnold was attached.
Maybe, but I've
never heard of this.
I feel like it would have. I don't know. I feel like Arnold would have taken it more seriously. I feel like Brian Bosworth like almost knew how silly to be with it, and I feel like Arnold
because he is playing the camp. He's playing the camp up.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the game Deus Ex? Like the original Deus Ex? The cover character looks like the cover of the movie with the one with his glasses. He's got the glasses and this one like shining. Yeah, the one you got on your shelf.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
I don't know, man. And then like the bikers, like all the biker scenes where they're like shooting cans off the top of each other's heads and shit. It's just so crazy. I just wish they would make a movie like this nowadays.
I think in the scenes with them, like when you first get introduced to like their camp, and it's like, I was like, this is like Coachella for heavy metal dudes. That's what I thought. Because they're like sitting there shooting beer cans off each other's shoulders and heads, but they're not using like a rifle. They're using like a fully auto SMG.
Well, no, they were using pistols, and then he's like, that's right. And then he pulls it out and he unloads an entire clip, and somehow
the guy somehow shoots.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, also, man.
Yeah, I actually think Lance Hendrickson was really good in this. He looked like a biker Jack Sparrow.
He was really good, and also funny story about that. His request to be in this movie was he had to write all of his own lines.
Oh, that's
so every line that he says in this movie was one that he wrote himself.
I love that. Yeah, he plays James.
Good. He was genuinely a good villain in this. I think he's a big part of why this film actually works.
He kind of gives me like Robert Carlyle vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
A little mean.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
No, he's like a huge asshole.
Yeah, he sucks. It is funny, just the like absurd level. I think it's the after they kill, I think it was the there's so much killing in this movie that I lose track of who's getting killed. It's like where they shoot the guys in the box after they kill a bunch of guards or something. And then she's like, "You killed him! What is wrong with you guys?" And then he's the like second guy in command with like the long black hair is like, "Here, you can have my woman." And then he just chucks her across, and he's like, "Yeah," and grabs her and starts making out with her.
Do you think what's a movie recently that you could even compare to something like this? I feel like maybe like the new Road. I feel like the new Roadhouse maybe tried something sort of similar, but even then, like, I feel like there aren't that many like just silly action movies anymore. I think the last one I can remember like being really enjoyable for me was like Shoot 'Em Up, and that was like 20 years ago at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really big into like straight up action movies, especially like ones that have that are just like cop undercover fights guys. That's not really my genre or my preference thing. But yeah, I definitely not recently. I would you consider this a B movie? Because I'm seeing everyone just say it's a B movie. I'd say if Arnold was in it, people wouldn't call it a B movie. I don't know. Is Commando a B movie?
It's one of those things where like Commando, Commando's a B movie. But mainly because it was produced by Cannon, and Cannon just literally made no budget movies.
Oh, okay.
But like the reason I struggle to call this a B movie is because of how well a lot of the special effects were done, and how like like it didn't look cheap necessarily.
No, it didn't look cheap. There was never a part where I wasn't believing the action. I mean, I never felt like it was realistic action, but I never thought they cheated an effect.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd say I would never argue calling it a B movie, but I would also say there is a level of genuine craftsmanship to the film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
don't know.
No, it's good. I'm not really big into like I said, the action genre, but at the time I haven't even seen very many movies from this time. The only thing I've seen that is like similar in level of action, practical effects, and kind of tone is Hard Target with what's his face? Jumpy European guy. John Claude Van Damme.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Hard Target. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, there's Hard Target, and there's also that one where he has like him and his clone of himself.
Okay,
that were like around the same time.
Yeah. Did Stone Cold Steve Austin exist before this movie came out? Like, not exist. I knew he was born by then, but was he like? Did he have a career as Stone Cold Steve Austin?
I think he was around 90, 94, 95 whenever he started stepping into wrestling.
Okay. So maybe he was inspired by this.
Maybe. That's honestly like I'd be interested to know. But like Brian Bosworth isn't even that old. I looked it up. He's only 60 now. So like,
oh wow.
He has some other movies. I need to check them out.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of curious. Did he have a very prolific career after this?
So this is like very much the type of movie I kind of seeked out as a kid. Like what? I'm not talking about like good movies, but like whenever you just like wanted to watch something with your friends or whatever, like what did you kind of skew for?
Horror. It was always horror.
Schlocky horror, or like did you like genuinely
just
good
something
horror
that could scare me? But I was a baby, so anything scared me. Like I was scared to watch the Resident Evil movies, and those are immensely schlocky, just because there were jump scares.
Action movies, basically.
Yeah, they're just action movies. I think it was like Resident Evil Afterlife, which is one of the schlockiest ones. That one we were like, me and my friend were like, watching between our fingers because there was jump scares like every 30 minutes.
Yeah, I watched like as soon as like streaming, like I mean I used to go to Blockbuster all the time. Just grab whatever like new release straight to DVD shit was out there, but as soon as streaming came out, I don't know if you remember early streaming, but there was a slew of terrible movies available at all times and it was so wonderful. But we also had to rent a lot of things, so like a lot of it was like running up our parents' credit cards to rent $2 shitty films.
Yeah, we did a lot of Redbox, my family. I remember my mom got mad at us because we rented a movie and I think it went and we ended up having to pay $26 to like keep it at that point. And it was the movie it was the movie Marmaduke.
Oh,
which was very funny. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's kind of a cool mystique about like Blockbuster, especially. Blockbuster was like done by the time I hit middle school, but I remember because that was when Netflix sort of kicked off like officially. But yeah, I was absolutely like starstruck. I love the feeling of walking around Blockbuster. I think the ones that I was always drawn to was either horror films with my friends if I was like doing a sleepover. But personally, I was always drawn to like the Godzilla movies, like the old Japanese ones.
Okay.
Just because I love monsters.
Do you feel like campiness as a like quality for films has kind of died out? Because like to think about it, there's no spoofs hardly exist anymore. There's not really campy like action in the same way there used to be. Even like I can't really think of that many. I mean, there's some. I guess Blumhouse makes a few campy horror movies.
I mean, they made Megan 2.0.
Yeah, that's true. I'm actually kind of excited. I'm actually kind of excited to see it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like
apparently
the only person I know that wants to see it. It's what? Tanking?
Oh, that reminds me. There's actually a quote where they said because Megan, I think it was 2.0 is what it's called.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Megan 2.0. Apparently it was tanking, and one of the producers, or maybe it was Jason Blum, was like, we thought Mithrigan was Superman. We thought we could put her in any genre and it would work.
I mean, they might. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah,
did you enjoy the first one?
I never saw it.
It wasn't good, but I enjoyed going to theaters and seeing it. It was like a fun little stupid movie. It was like a shittier like Child's Play movie.
It just, from what I heard, the thing that made me uninterested was that it was like pretty neutered. Like it didn't like if you go schlocky, I want to see you go like crazy into the gore and just ridiculous shit. But from everything I heard people talking about, it was just it was pretty lame and tame, and all the kills were super mundane and boring. And I miss the era of having a slasher icon consistently.
Yeah.
Like I know we keep doing reboots and stuff, but I would love a new wave of slasher villains.
Yeah, what's even had the chance?
Like maybe Malignant.
Malignant was great. I'm honestly, there was that.
Speaking of schlocky, like modern day, that one is super campy,
really good. But also there was like a big ordeal with it being apparently like just a stolen script though. So like,
really?
I think there's a big rights issue with that because there was a big lawsuit where James Wan just stole it,
allegedly.
But yeah, so I think that might be part of it. But that movie fucking was so badass.
I thought that was so awesome.
It also, they didn't spoil everything in the trailers, too. Because, like, a movie like that, like, similar to that movie Companion, which, honestly, I didn't hate that movie with the guy that looks like you.
Jack Quaid.
Yeah.
Oh, the white guy, the generic white guy.
Yeah. That movie, had I not known the twist like that came like 30 minutes into the movie, I probably would have enjoyed that movie a lot more, but it was spoiled in the trailer. And if Malignant had been spoiled for me in the trailer, I definitely would have enjoyed it a lot less, I think.
Yeah, I think that's one of those movies where you kind of have to, you're going to make people mad in doing it, but you kind of have to lie to people and like completely pull the rug out from under them about what the actual tone of the film is.
Yep.
Because
and that's
a lot of people would have seen it if they found out it was a campy slasher goofy movie with a backwards villain.
I'm really tempted to not watch any trailers for like I have watched a trailer for Zach Cregger's new movie Weapons.
The first trailer is perfectly fine on its own and it doesn't give anything away.
I want to watch them because I completely ignored or I avoided all trailers for Barbarian because I was really excited. Like I just wanted to like go in blind.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that trailer like spoiled everything, but like still it's just, I don't know, it feels like it's like a 50-50 these days.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It's also sometimes depends on the studio. I feel like certain studios are worse about what they put in trailers. I think Sony is one of the worst offenders of it, where they will just give you a plot breakdown. Like, do you remember their Spider-Man? Because they do the marketing, I think, for like Spider-Man Homecoming, and it was like the last trailer. They just show plot, like beat for beat, what's going to happen. So it's like, okay, all right, I get it.
Yeah, I'm tired of movie trailers. Honestly, I just, but it's hard because you also want to learn about new directors. So it's like, but like, I feel like it's one of those things where I kind of have to be particular about what trailers I watch. So like if I know there's somebody that I like kind of trust and I know that it's not like a big studio blockbuster, I will avoid the trailer. Mm-hmm. If it's like a director I like and it's a blockbuster, I'll probably watch the trailer.
Yeah, I think the only I can't think of anything where I didn't watch a trailer in preparation.
Really?
I feel like most of the time it doesn't ruin it for me. Even like, you know, if you get a really sucky one, most of the times where they spoil the entire thing in the trailer, it's movies I don't really care about. But
it makes sense. I don't know. It feels like it's like really hard to be a movie fan these days. I feel like studios just make it so hard for me to like things.
Just because of advertising, or just in general?
Well, first of all, the movies suck a lot of the time. The ones that don't suck, a lot of the time they spoil it with marketing. And then, like movies that have potential, you can tell they have potential. Like you can just see where they're just neutering it for the general audiences, or to avoid, or they need to make a stance, or they want to avoid making a stance, and it just feels like movies, they're just neutered nowadays.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about this one, Jurassic World. It's just like it's baby movie. It's the corporate mandated widest possible audience imaginable.
Yeah.
Create nothing, say nothing, offend no one. Not to say you should offend someone, but like, you're not making art. It shouldn't appeal to every single person on the planet, and that's what they're trying to do.
That's part of why a movie like Stone Cold, like, I just love so much, because they just did exactly what they wanted to. That's it. They made the movie they wanted to make.
Yeah,
maybe not with the cast they wanted, maybe not with all the resources they wanted, but
I think for what it is, I think they did exactly what they wanted to accomplish.
Yeah, and I miss it. Like, and people shit on those old canon movies a lot, but like, they were fun. Like, at least like nowadays, whenever a movie, like a studio, like mandates a film, right, and they just put some like no-name director in there,
like Marvel.
Yeah, it's like, take your shot, man. Take your fucking shot.
Well, I mean, the problem is a lot of the times it's like specifically Marvel. I think Disney does this as well with all their remakes. There's a director who will maybe have some sort of indie film that does really well, or some small film that people are like, wow, this guy's a really great up and coming talent. And then Disney or whoever offers them like, hey, do you want to direct Ant-Man 2, or do you want to go direct Fantastic Four, or whatever it may be? And they go, okay, here you go. Also, you don't really get a say in this. We've already written it. We've got the storyboards here. You're just kind of the name attached. Like, I feel like that's how it was with the Marvels. I didn't see it, but that's what.
Yeah.
I mean, even the director, she seemed to be kind of like, yeah. Barry Jenkins came out after doing Mufasa, the prequel live action Lion King, and was like, I basically didn't really get to do anything. I was the name attached. I didn't really have any creative input.
I just don't get it, man. I want something interesting or funny. I want something. I don't care. It doesn't have to be. Sure, it doesn't even have to be a feeling. I don't have to be emotionally attached to it, but just make me like, be like, make me die. If you're going to make a bad movie, make The Happening.
But that's the thing. You're still feeling something, not feeling emotional, like in one way or the other. Just, you're feeling something, even if it's a bad movie that's awesome or funny. You're just like, hey, I had a good time. I made me feel like laughing.
Yeah.
Still something that's still better. Madam Web, didn't see it.
I laughed my ass off during Madam Web. It's a terrible fucking movie. But come on, dude. Like, if you're gonna be bad, be bad. Do something.
Those ones aren't funny bad enough for me to be worth it.
You haven't watched it yet. You gotta watch it.
Not Madam Web. The ones I have seen aren't funny bad enough. I had someone recommend. They're like, you should watch Venom. They're pretty good. They're like kind of funny bad. And I watched the first one about
Venom's not
halfway, and I was like, this is so boring. Like, it wasn't even funny.
Venom is just Upgrade, but worse. Because Upgrade had just came out. I watched it, and the main actor looks just like Tom Hardy.
Oh yeah, he's just D-tier Tom Hardy.
It's just basically a Venom movie, but it's so much better.
But it's robot.
Yeah,
or computer.
I don't know. What would you rate Stone Cold?
I wouldn't rank it like really high. I still think it's pretty dated and has some like. I think it knows exactly what it is, and it does that. I don't think I can give it anything higher than a 6.
I mean, I'd probably give it a 9.
But I think that's perfectly fine. I love that. I love that for you. I love how much you love this movie. I love when someone just loves something.
The only reason I give
on
it a
Nick
9
for his opinions on Oppenheimer, but he loves Oppenheimer. He loves what was the fucking other one he loves? I don't know.
Michael Clayton.
Michael Clayton. He loves.
I don't hate Michael Clayton. I think Michael Clayton is fine.
You said Michael Clayton was woke trash.
Michael Clayton is fine. It's a really weird movie to have as like a favorite movie, though.
I think it's cool. It's very Nick. When I see that and Oppenheimer, I'm like, yeah, these are Nick movies. But the same thing goes for you. When I see Psycho Gorman and Stone Cold, I'm like, yeah, these are Nick movies. Like, you're very much a 90s action guy, kind of schlocky.
I just like movies that fucking take their fucking punch, dude. They fucking go for it, you know?
Yeah, swing for the fences.
And like that's so lacking nowadays. So whenever I see somebody do it, even if the movie isn't amazing, I have to like give them their respect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I prefer. I think the most offensive thing a movie can be is incredibly boring.
Yeah, completely agree. I watched this movie the other day called Spaghetti Man. It's about this guy who eats.
You could totally just be lying to me, and I would believe you.
Well, it's about a guy who eats radioactive spaghetti, and he uses he can basically launch spaghetti out of his hands at people, and he uses his powers not to defend against crime. Well, he does basically fight crime, but basically he will fight crime and then use it as a bribe for the victims to give him money because he needs to pay his rent. So he beats up bad guys and helps people, but then he basically says, "You're gonna have to pay me, brother, or else I'm gonna spaghetti you."
So and he's a menace.
he's a bad guy.
Okay,
but yeah, it's a really bad movie, but like it's also a really low budget movie.
Yeah,
and it's kind of funny. If y'all want to watch a movie about a guy shooting spaghetti out of his hands, and he pisses spaghetti too, I might add, his pisses spaghetti.
That sounds like a nightmare. That sounds like a body horror film.
But yeah, Spaghetti Man, check it out. It's on Amazon Prime for free. But yeah, I just anytime I see something like that, like what, like, is there anything that you see that you've never heard of? You're just like, I have to watch this. Like, explain like a movie that you see like on some random platform.
I feel like there has been just something that I've heard just is crazy, but I can't think of anything right now. I'll get back to you if I remember.
What's the last movie you watched that wasn't something somebody recommended to you, or like that you found on your own?
I found my own. I live vicariously through recommendations. I don't have time to research on my own for movies. So busy all the time.
It's okay if you don't have one. I was just curious.
No, I don't think I have one. I genuinely don't, because I don't have the time to just sit there and like scroll through Tubi or Netflix or whatever and find something. I think the last time, it was years ago, but I mentioned this on the pod before. It was the movie Ouija. I think it was, okay, but not the Netflix one. Not the 2016 Ouija that was like the kind of blockbuster one.
It's the Netflix one.
It's the
with,
one
the guy from Spider-Man.
Which
with the fat guy from Spider-Man? The Samoan guy from Spider-Man, or Asian. I don't know what he is. The chubby guy.
I don't know what it's called. Anyway, it's like Ouija and the something and something. It came out before the 2014 one. I think it was like 2011. But that one was one me and my like siblings stumbled upon, and it was incredibly funny. And just like, it wasn't us intentionally watching it because it looked bad. It was like, well, let's watch something really really scary. This one looks scary. It's a found footage Ouija movie, and it was one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. No.
Those are like some of the best shit, man. I swear to God.
Finding something cool.
Like there was this movie, like I guess maybe people have heard of it now, but it's called
from the Ouija Experiment. Sorry, I had to say it. That's what it's called. 2011, the Ouija Experiment.
From Paris with Love is another one.
From Paris with Love.
It's this movie. It's probably from like 2010, 2009, something like that. But it has John Travolta.
Oh, I remember seeing. Wait, no, sorry. Oh, is this the one where he's like he robs he hijacks a train or something?
No, it's like I don't even remember the plot. I just remember like John Travolta just plays this bald cokehead like mobster dude that like is working alongside some like agent guy. And then it's just the most ridiculous action movie ever. But like that's just one of those like blockbuster finds, man. I just miss. I don't know. That's all I'm gonna watch from now on. I'm just gonna start watching just terrible fucking schlocky voodoo movies, and that's gonna be it for me.
Voodoo movies. Oh, is that a streaming service? I thought you meant like movies about voodoo.
Is it called Voodoo? Vimeo?
I don't know. There's a billion different.
No, there's one called like Mubu or something. I don't know. I'm getting
that's
confused.
The one that funded the Substance.
Yeah. The Substance.
Actually, there was a movie. I never watched it, but it was one that it was in the red box that I was like, oh, I kind of want to watch that. It sounds funny. I never ended up getting around to it, but it was John dies at the end. I was like,
that movie's so good. Have you seen it?
No.
Dude, it's so good. It's like not even like B movie good. It's like Paul Giamatti is in it, so good in it,
Oh, really?
and it's hilarious. It's one of the funniest like horror comedies I've ever seen.
All right, I'll save that.
How have you
Yeah,
never seen John Dies at the End?
I just
That's like a
remember
classic.
seeing it was called that. And I was like, that's funny. Another one I stumbled upon that I don't think was good, but I think it was like the only things I stumbled upon were horror movies because that was what I was like looking for. I was like, what's a scary horror movie we can watch? It was me and my sisters. And there was a movie called Evidence, which is a found footage horror movie that freaked me out. I'm sure it's terrible. 2012. I don't think it's good in hindsight, but it's got a slasher villain. It's got like a dude in like welding gear who just cuts people in half with a blowtorch. And I remember that freaked me out.
Here's the thing. I want to recommend like some just trash, but I know Nick would absolutely just kill me. He would fly down from New York City and just fucking
slap you. Me. And then he'd fly back.
But like, I don't know, man. There's just something so pure about those movies.
As long as there's something interesting to talk about in them, I think they're fine. I think that is a valid recommendation.
It's like whenever you see like a kid playing in the playground and they're just in their own little world, you know? And that's how I feel about these movies.
Whereas, you the like, kid? Or is the movie the kid?
The filmmaker's the kid. And they're just like they're in this weird like pocket universe in their brain. And like everyone else, like all these like Jurassic Bark movies are like the businessmen going to their work on their suit and they're like I want to work on the movie machine. I need spreadsheets. It's like, come on, where's the fun, dude? There's obviously a middle ground. There's a middle ground like all through like the early 2000s, the 90s. We had The Matrix. We had like so many freaky Fight Clubs, so many good movies that were like fun and you could tell it was like following an actual vision.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned the 90s. Did you see the list of like the top 100 rated movies from Variety?
No.
Of the 21st century?
No.
Do you know what was on the number one list? It was Parasite.
Oh, Parasite's great.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good movies, and especially nowadays, like I feel like I might be like, maybe I'm just dumb, but I feel like I've been overall more positive about a lot of things we're saying lately. Or seeing lately.
We've had a good streak. I feel like this year relatively has been pretty solid. Like, I think even Sinners alone, if that is all I'd seen at this point, I'd be like, that's pretty good. I know you weren't super hot on Sinners, but I fucking love Sinners. I still think 28 Years Later was pretty sick, even though it's kind of a,
I really like 28
mixed
Years
reviews.
Later.
Yeah.
Mickey 17, honestly, like really great for me.
That was a bit of a disappointment for me.
I've liked it more. Have you watched it again?
No.
You should watch it again.
It's just so long.
Yeah, but it's honestly genuinely more enjoyable after you watch it again, or at least it was for me. Because I was on the fence, but now it's leaning towards like a 9 for me now.
Really?
And okay. I think I was like a 7 whenever we talked about it or something.
Yeah, I think you were 7. I think I gave it a 5, maybe a 6. I don't know. That's how it feels to me. I was very disappointed by that.
Yeah, I think I had different expectations going in, but I think the more I've thought about it, here's a thought experiment. I actually thought about this. I was gonna save it for whenever Nick was here too, because I want to hear his thoughts on this.
Yeah.
But if you say a scientist came up to you, right, and they're like, I can clone you right now, would you do it? Think about all the positives and negatives of being cloned.
No.
You wouldn't do it?
I don't want to deal with whatever potential philosophical quandaries that it might bring up. What if the clone me is like, well, do I get to kiss your wife? Then it's weird. Yes. But then it's weird. Then it's like, yeah, but that's not me. That's just a copy of me. No, I don't like that.
Well, it was
it ended up killing. See, I would be like, I have to kill the other me, which I know the other me would be thinking to kill me because I'm thinking that. So that is the only reason.
Do you really think that do you really think that you would go, like immediately go to like killing?
No, not immediately. It would take time.
Because here's the thing, I guess it's different after like you've lived different experiences for a certain amount of time. But like whenever the clone is first made, it is you. It's exactly you.
It's you're with your memories copied in that exact same moment.
So exactly. So like you eventually become different people, but like you have to understand that like you have to think how you would think in that situation. So like, would you be understanding if you were a clone? You were like,
I think I would be understanding, but if there became issue, I don't actually legitimately think I'd kill another me, but I think it would just be too weird where I would just absolutely refuse. No, I don't want that.
Yeah.
What about you? Would you? Okay, here's another one. If you had a clone version of you, would you kiss that version of you just to see how good of a kisser you are?
No.
Is it wrong to have sex with a clone of yourself?
I guess not if it's consensual.
Yeah, it's consensual. This theoretical.
I guess. I mean, you can't impregnate yourself.
But is that incest or no?
I don't know. I guess so.
See, these are the questions we should be asking.
But like, I think I would. I don't know if I would do it, man. I think I would do it, but no.
Clone yourself?
I think if I was in a different point in my life, I think if it was me like 6 months ago, I would have cloned myself
just to see. But now you got stuff. No, well,
like, yeah, well, it's like one of those things where like once you're like having a relationship, it's like this is now weird. Like,
yeah,
now we're
both weird.
Now, but like if I was like a single person and like, because then like I said, like once you start living longer, you're like your different experiences kind of turn you into different people.
Yeah, you would eventually start becoming a different person. I mean, eventually it would just be that the sex thing was a joke. But I think eventually, like literally speaking, I think eventually it would just become a different person, and you would go, "Okay, we're just twins now. Like we're very similar, but our life experiences are going to change as we continue."
But think about how. But like but you still have all the same passions, right? You still have all the same like desires out of life, so you could have basically another you working on things at all times.
Yeah,
think about how much you could accomplish.
I'm also super fickle in my hobby, so they might be really into something at one point and be like, "I don't want to help you with your short film. I want to go play Call of Duty, dude."
But that's why it's great to have two.
Yeah, but also they're not like my slave. I mean, not that I want them to be, but
if you were working on a short film, you would want to make the short film.
True, that's true.
And you'd have another you at all times.
I don't like it. As soon if you're in a relationship, it is immediately a no.
It makes it harder.
It makes it very difficult.
But if I wasn't, I definitely would clone myself.
Would you have to like call him something else? Would you give him a different name?
That's up to him. He's me. I don't get to choose his name. He's a person.
Yeah. I mean, theoretically, if I'm exactly me and I become the clone, I think I would change. I think we'd be on the same page, and I think the other new version of me would be like, all right, I'm gonna go by my middle name, and then that would be like that. That would be easier to like separate.
Yeah, I think maybe I would be if they were like, I think if I was like, hey, you're a clone of me, I'd be like, oh, all right.
It'd be like the what is it, Mahler twins?
Yeah.
Where they're like, you're the clone. No, you're the clone.
I truly want to know whether Nick would clone himself or not. I feel like Nick would clone himself.
We'll have to ask him next episode.
Can we take a bet? What do you think?
I think Nick's going to get really heavy into the philosophical, like, well, what does that mean for like the morality of that? And is it a ethical form of science that they're doing this? And if so, then yes, then maybe he'd consider it. But I think no, because he's in a relationship, and that's weird. Same with my answer.
But maybe he'd be fine with himself smashing his girl, because it's him.
Well,
some people have different perspectives on that stuff.
We'll have to ask him.
We'll have to find out. Yeah, and that's been your view into my brain.
Well, that was great.
These are things I think about on a daily basis.
That's good. Oh, I got another one for you. How many holes does a straw have? 1 or 2?
A straw?
Straw.
Like a piece of straw?
Like a plastic straw you drink a soda with. How many holes does it have? Is it 1 long hole or is it 2 holes in a cavity?
It's not even a hole, really.
But it is. So how many holes does the tunnel have?
I guess 2 holes.
Okay. Something to think about. Does it? Or is it one long hole?
Because I guess it is a hole, maybe.
Does a
I
piece
don't know.
of paper have 2 holes?
Well, I guess if you think
If
about
you
like
punch
your
a hole in
intestines you think about your intestines to your butthole, right? It's kind of like, so your butthole is one hole, and then like it opens up to your like kind of.
Is it the fact that there's curves in it, like it goes in different directions, that it's like that changes it? Because I think the fact that it's a straight shot
I think it's
down,
the fact that it's all hidden inside of you.
that it makes
That
it
you
seem
don't
like
really-
more of a opening and a closing at the other side. Okay.
Yeah. I think if a straw was like inside of a cup. No, that doesn't make any sense.
All right. I actually do want to get back to movies.
Okay.
That was a fun little
Anyways.
But so now that Jurassic World Rebirth is out as the first of the big 3, which is Jurassic World Rebirth, Superman, and Fantastic Four First Steps, how we made a video about this for an HTI highlights where we talked about what was our prediction for like money making, not necessarily quality of it, because I think we all kind of agreed either Fantastic Four or Superman were going to be the better movies. This was not surprising that this one was bad, but we all predicted that Jurassic World was going to be the biggest moneymaker. Are we still kind of feeling that? Because I think I am. I think Superman's going to do better than I was expecting because it's tracking to do really, really well.
I think Superman might do better than my predictions on that day. I think
Fantastic Four is going to do worst.
People seem excited about it. It looks like it doesn't look good to me.
I'm not really getting a good read from the trailers. I like Matt Shakman for the most part on what he did in WandaVision, but I don't know. I think the aesthetics in the world is kind of cool. I like all the cast. I think all the cast are pretty solid. I know you don't like Pedro Pascal, but I think they're all really good.
I think that Superman and Jurassic World are both more gimme films. Like they're like kind of, it's a Superman movie and it's
a dinosaur movie.
Like I think they have a lot more freedom. I think like similar to like the Marvels. Like I think Fantastic Four has to be a genuinely good movie for it to break $1 billion.
Yeah.
Or at least like not good, but like it needs to be like
solid.
Marvel good.
Yeah, it needs to be like a Thunderbolts level.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's just going to be kind of, I don't think they would. I feel like Marvel's at a point where they're like, we can't fumble the big ones. We can't fumble Fantastic Four. We cannot fumble that. We can't fumble X-Men whenever they decide to do that. Actually, they just announced the director of Thunderbolts is doing whatever the new X-Men movie ends up being.
So that's good. Exciting to me. Thunderbolts was fine. It was like a okay watchable movie.
It was one of the best of the last like 2 phases. So
that's not saying much though.
I don't know. I'm excited. I'll watch whatever. I like X-Men.
I like X-Men too. X-Men are like some of the cooler Marvel like properties.
And they did. I mean, I don't know. How did you feel about all the Fox stuff when that was actively running? I think you have like you get masterpieces out of it, like Logan, but the majority was not masterpieces like Logan.
I don't think Logan was dependent on. I don't think Logan even carried on a lot of the like world building and aesthetic that was from those original films.
And the timeline is absolute nonsense. Nothing makes sense.
Yeah,
like you'll have like X-Men Origins Wolverine, which is one of the funniest funny bad superhero movies I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
And there's just stuff in Logan where they're just like, oh yeah, all the X-Men are dead. And then, I don't know. I feel like they just kind of consistently retcon themselves.
Well, that's how I wish they would just make superhero movies, man. They're just like direct, like James Mangold, make a Western.
Yeah.
Make a Western, but throw Wolverine in there.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful. It was amazing.
Yeah. I have a question for you. What would you define as like your, like we're all film buffs on this pod. What would you define as like your blind spots? Like your film buff blind spots, like franchise like or
things
series
that I like.
That no things that you've just like literally never watched, but are huge franchises. Because I got a few.
I don't know that there are a lot of huge franchises I haven't seen.
I've seen. I can start if you want. I'll give you one.
Yeah.
I've seen one of the movies, but it was the one that was considered to be the worst of the entire franchise. I have seen one movie from Fast and Furious, none of the others, and that was
I've seen
Fast and
most of
Furious
them.
Tokyo Drift. It's the only one I've seen.
Tokyo Drift is hilarious.
It's very funny. That is my like. I'd say the two big blind spots, though. One of these is
Let me Google
because
franchises.
of no, you're good. Yeah, one of these is a big blind spot for me because of recent news. Mission Impossible. Never seen a Mission Impossible movie. That's
I've
another
seen all
one
of
for
them.
me. And then most recently, because of news that has just come out, I've never seen a James Bond movie. None of them.
Oh yeah,
And
you
there's
told
like
me about that.
25. Yeah, I've never seen one. And the only reason I'm now like thinking about it is because my favorite director, Denis Villeneuve, is making Bond 26.
I don't think that's been like formally announced.
No,
yet.
it is. It officially announced it.
It is.
Yeah, he's like come out and talked about how he's excited and stuff.
Every single of these franchises I've seen I'm seeing this like big franchise list. I mean, there's some like random horror series that like I've only seen like one of them. Like I've only seen Jaws and Jaws 3D, but I don't think I have to see every Jaws movie.
No, the only one you need to see is one. Same with Jurassic. If we're being honest, Jurassic Park, you only need to see the first one.
Yeah, I've seen most major franchises just because, like, I guess I haven't seen all the Transformers movies.
I've seen most of them.
They're
not good though. But yeah, I'd say those are my main three blind spots.
I'm pretty up to date on garbage franchises, honestly.
Well, I'm happy for you. So the question was a waste on you. I'll ask Nick next time we see him.
There's probably a bunch that he hasn't seen.
I'm sure.
Like, he hasn't seen Twilight.
We gotta have a Twilight series episode. Oh my god.
We're gonna have to.
We're gonna have to.
I love those movies.
There's
hilarious.
There's so much. I think it was a quote from like the Mr. Sundays movies channel or Weekly Planet or whatever. They're like, these movies are very good, but there's a lot of stuff in them to talk about.
It's true.
Yeah. So we'll definitely want to save those for a future episode.
It's similar to like a Harry Potter thing too, where like the vibe changes a lot as they go.
Yeah, it gets real weird and philosophically and sus. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, unless you have anything else
much more to
add,
say.
Yeah, I think we've this ep has run its course. Nick is not here to recommend his movie because next week is his recommendation. So in addition to talking about James Gunn's highly anticipated Superman movie next week, we're also going to be talking about Nick's recommendation, the iconic, was it 2001, 2002? One of those years?
2002, I believe.
The post 9/11 classic, Spider-Man by Sam Raimi, which I think pairs very nicely with James Gunn's Superman. So I'm excited to watch those. If you guys enjoyed this episode and you're watching on YouTube, please leave us a like and a comment. And if you're listening to us on an audio-only platform such as Apple Podcasts and Spotify, go ahead and leave us a 5-star rating because that would really help us in the algorithm. And unless you have anything else to add, Nick,
that's it. It was a pleasure.
That's it.
Get stuck.
It was a pleasure. Get Stuckmanized, everybody. See you next week.
Ta-ta.
Ta-ta.